Yay! For that, and the dopamine is like, oh, something like this, and like romantic. Then when the Jason Park gets gold, yes, that kind. That's dopamine, the feeling pleasure. T cells peak and they kills the brain cells only, which produce the dopamine. Then the person becomes inflexible and stiff, becoming like this. Even though the person doesn't get the parasite, it turns out that the autoimmune disease, something like the ALS or the multiple neuritis, a person starts to limp. It's getting to lose sensation. It's a disease caused by the degenerate T lymphocytes attacking to the nerves. However, various diseases are beginning to occur. In some cases, the T lymphocytes get into the bone marrow and destroy it. Then what happened? In the bone marrow, all blood cells they produced something like the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. What happened is the numbers of them today is getting to reduce and occur to leukopenia, erythropedia, and hyplastic anemia. According that, and after that it gets worse and they could go to the leukemia. That is that kind of case. So the T lymphocytes go attack the chronic renal failure, kidney. When the T lymphocytes do this, something like the glomerular nephritis, right? Those kinds of the diseases are all autoimmune diseases. The fundamental problem of autoimmune diseases are occurring on T lymphocytes, right? So, when you the folks get autoimmune disease and go to hospital, then how will the doctors treat you? The T lymphocytes are degenerated, so giving you immunosuppressant. What do the immunosuppressants eventually make T lymphocytes? It's a medicine for the suppressing. So it keeps to suppress to the T lymphocytes. Then make it weaken and they kill them again and again. Therefore, they're using the steroids or they're using the drug that they kill the T lymphocytes. You know what I mean? But that kind of therapy, you couldn't expect it a temporary effect only. Just that kind of therapy. Even childhood diabetes, when you take the child to the hospital, of course they have to give the insulin shot, right? Because the insulin is not produced. But what kind of the medicines the doctors give them not to detect the pancreas by the T lymphocytes, having no choices but to give immunosuppressants to them, the medicine that kills the T lymphocytes. They can't be cured by using that medicine, no matter how many times they use it, folks. You know what I mean? They can't be cured. How can they be cured from autoimmune disease? How? The degenerate T lymphocytes to go back to normal, no longer attacking their own cells, then they could be cured. If you want to do that, then you have to know why my own T lymphocytes attacking myself. Why they become abnormal, crazy T lymphocytes. You have to know that, right? The T lymphocytes altered. Then what altered the inside of the T lymphocytes? Genes. You're right. The program. So it was a very healthy constitution. It was a very healthy constitution. While living, it turned out to be autoimmune constitution, folks. What do you mean by that? The nature of my T lymphocytes used to be the normal. So there wasn't any autoimmune disease. But it's strange since the person was 32, the joints are swollen. After having a pee, it seems like having a bloody urine from the kidney. Having a urine tested, I got a kidney inflammation. Why is this? The T lymphocyte is degenerated and attacking my joints and my kidneys. How did this happen? I was fine until I was 32, or I was fine until I was 28, or I was okay before marriage. The symptom occurred from 1 year after marriage. Why? So far now, in the modern medical world, we don't know the cause of the occurring the autoimmune disease. They say like this, that we don't know why the T lymphocyte is degenerate like that. However, I think in the meantime, the cause of the alternating to degenerated T lymphocytes, you have to know the nature of the genes. So first, the gene has been altered. The T lymphocytes of this person was input as normal. Since the age of 32 or the 1 year after marriage, what happened? The alteration starts. If the degeneration of the gene doesn't occur, the T lymphocyte don't alter, then there is no such disease. So my genes alter. That's why my healthy constitution turns into the autoimmune constitution. The constitution alters, folks. You know what I mean? People thought that way until even I thought too. The Oriental doctor thought the constitution won't alter, and the Western doctor thought too. But because of the gene, the medicine, the Human Genome Project, genetic map that comes out and the gene alters from the normal to abnormal. Folks, the term of constitution. What is the constitution for? The constitution is the nature of the body. The nature of the body is the nature of cells, aren't they? Then what determines by the nature of the cells? It determines by the genes. So if the genes can alter, then the constitution can alter. So the healthy T lymphocyte constitution alter to the autoimmune, which take on the character of the autoimmune disease. That is altered to the constitution. So the strange phenomenon starts to happen. It starts to swell, the smear, and the pain and the tingling. Here starts to fall out such a phenomenon. So there are many kinds of disease. Then let's look at the characteristic of the T lymphocyte first. Those T lymphocytes are very sensitive to the state of the brain. The brain produces various substances. For example, brain cells when we feel good, or when doing exercise at the moment, or when you were injured seriously in the battlefield, suffering pain. Even then, the endorphins are produced. However, the endorphins are produced in multiple situations like those. When the endorphins are produced suitably, then the endorphin that was produced in the brain here come to the T lymphocyte. So let's say this is a T lymphocyte, And the T lymphocytes have those antennas on the surface. Those antennas are called receptors. These are the various other receptors. At that moment, the endorphin get there and stick to the receptor. Then the T lymphocytes become more active. But the endorphins are too many. Then what will happen? Becoming a spoony. Is addictive. Then the T lymphocytes are getting weaker. You know what I mean? So when the marathon runners are running the marathon, how are they the painful, right? Enduring that and they keep the running for relieving the pain. The endorphin is produced without realizing. It's too much production. When it's too much production, the person got drunk with the endorphin, so the person won't suffer there afterwards. Even though the person is suffering, but they keep putting his foot down, then for the relieving the pain, the endorphin is produced, but it's too much produced after that. He won't realize that he is suffering or not. Because of that, the overdoing of the endorphin while they're running the marathon, that there are many cases that the T lymphocytes are getting weaker. So don't overdo anything. How good is the endorphin? But it shouldn't be too much. Then in the brain, the substance called serotonin is produced that makes your mind very peaceful. Those who produced the serotonin well are the positive. They'll be fine. Don't worry, things will work out. The person who says this is someone who comes out with the serotonin, and the person doesn't come out well, even though the things work out easily. The person can't hold it, then is so nervous. And the receptor for the serotonin receptor, when serotonin goes to the T lymphocyte, the T lymphocyte goes to vigorous. You know what I'm saying? Now we have to learn here is the endorphin in our body, the pleasure. Eventually, what is the pleasure for us? The state of our mind, right? The mental state. Serotonin peace. This kind of a mental state alters to the substance. The substance called serotonin, or the alter to the substance called endorphin. You gotta know that.